In this video, we're going to explore a shocking article about a banker who was fired unexpectedly after 5 years working in trading for a major investment bank within the UK. What can we learn from this? How can it benefit your career? Stay tuned in this video, we'll explore it in more detail. Point number one, what can we learn from this recent article? Your job essentially is never safe. FX forward, in this case, we have an FX forward trader. He's trading foreign exchange forwards, which is like trading an FX, a derivative essentially, at RBS, which is a major investment bank within the UK, or maybe slightly smaller investment bank in the global sense of things, but relatively dominant within the UK. Now, when this bank failed, it was taken over by the government. It was essentially a government bailout, like all the bailouts you've heard about, where governments essentially take over some of these failing banks. And this guy, he lost his job unexpectedly. It wasn't due to his performance. He'd been working there for 5 years. He has significant levels of experience, but he lost his job, and also his job was linked to his work visa because he's coming from a foreign country. So all of a sudden, not only did he lose his job, he had to quickly find a job or he would be kicked out the country. And this does impact people working in the UK, working in Western countries. In the US, I know there have been cases where people have worked at Goldman Sachs and they're from India, for example. They lose their job and all of a sudden they have to quickly go back to India because their citizenship or their ability to live in the country is dependent on having a job and a company that's sponsoring their work visa. So it can be quite a difficult scenario for people to essentially be in, right? If you lose your job and then also you lose your ability to live in the country too. Now, in this case, this guy had to leave the country. He tried different, he ended up leaving the country, but he did try different things, working in the media, working in recruitment, and eventually he ended up, being able to live in the country through getting a work visa and working at a trading simulation firm. So that's essentially like, finding another job in the industry might not be ideal, might not be a major investment bank, but it's still a good job, essentially, right? He still managed to find a way of living in the country that he wanted to work in, essentially, even after losing his investment banking job. So that point number one really is your job is never safe. You could be doing a great job, being an excellent trader, generating millions of dollars for the company, getting paid a high six-figure salary. Any moment that job could go, right? So it's really something for you to be prepared for by saving your money, investing your money, looking at other income opportunities, whether it's investing in property, getting monthly passive income from that source. Just so you know, you have a backup option, because the finance job market, similar to the tech industry, is subject to a lot of layoffs, is subject to a lot of difficulty in terms of long-term stability. And point number two is he managed to find his job by his future job, his trading simulation job, working through networking with recruiters, networking with co-workers to find this other job opportunity. And this is what you need to consider. I know sometimes, for example, with myself and maybe with some people out there, we live in kind of a weird social dynamic. You might be more of an introvert. You might prefer to keep to yourself at work and just get your work done and go home. You might not be comfortable with some of the, woke, liberal, feminist politics at work. You might not feel comfortable there, but you still need to network just for the sake of your own career surviving at your current company, but also for future opportunities. Even if you don't like the social environment at work, you can develop that a bit, find another job opportunity through networking with your co-workers, because if you lose your job, they might lose their job. They might have other contacts at other companies that are looking to recruit for someone for a similar role. These are all important attributes to have and skills and things to prepare for. Now, next thing is point number three. You need to look into smaller firms, right? Because a lot of people, they want to work for the major investment banks, major big firms, but there are many other good opportunities in and around the finance industry itself. If the finance industry isn't hiring, there are other financial services that departments you could work for. You could work in the corporate finance department for a company in another industry. If you have finance skills and you're not finding a job within finance and banking, you can work for the finance department of, say, an agricultural company, for a health supplement company, for a telephone, laptop manufacturing company. They all have finance departments. They all need people with finance skills. So you can go and apply there and try to get a job in that type of niche. So that's a good opportunity for yourself to consider. Now, also there are adjacent roles. So what did this guy go and do? He went and worked for a trading simulation firm, which is essentially a company that produces trading simulation software to help train people to become good traders. So it's essentially like an adjacent role to finance. It's corporate training. He's basically part of a training company to train junior traders. So again, there's all sorts of opportunities there. It's not like, oh, you can only do one thing and that's be a trader. Now, just to summarize, 3 points. In this article, we can learn you need to prepare for the lack of job security within finance, number 1. You need to network to find new job opportunities. And number 3, you need to look into smaller firms and alternative opportunities so you don't get caught out like this and you're prepared to lose your job at any moment, because that could happen. A layoff can come out from a company collapsing that has nothing to do with your performance. Thanks for listening. Check out the 2 recommended videos on your screen right now, the free ebook in description, and I'll see you in the next video.